Hi, I'm Randy Wooden, and welcome to another in our Edge Library series. This time we're talking with military folks and the question of what are your goals? Now, there are different ways to handle this depending on where you stand in your career age-wise and how much experience you have. But the fact that you're moving from military into civilian life, really it shouldn't matter a great deal about where you are in your career. I think there's some commonalities or common threads that would run through your answer regardless. So let's talk about those. I mean, let's face it, your immediate goal is to make that transition from the military to the civilian workforce. And there's a lot that goes into that because you've got to figure out what your transferable skills might be. You've got to get a sense for industry that might be a good fit. And just as important, you've got to know how to convey those skills and that experience to a company or to an employer in a meaningful enough way to actually get hired. So you're sitting across the table from somebody who says, okay, so what are your goals? What I would do is I'd say, well, first of all, my short-term goal is to look to establish myself outside the military in the private sector. I believe I have a lot of skills. I've developed knowledge. I've had accomplishments in my military life. And I think those position me well for an opportunity such as what we've talked about. I feel like I could hit the ground running here given my background. I'd hope that over time, though, as opportunities present themselves, that I'd be considered for those based not on seniority, but based on achievement, based on what I've proven I can do. Let me ask you, for somebody who does come into a position such as this, what do you see as some of the longer-term opportunities for somebody who does a good job? So that's one way to handle that question, particularly if you're relatively young or mid-career. If you're senior level, you've been in the military for a good number of years and you're coming out perhaps in your late 40s, maybe even early 50s, then your answer may not talk so much about future growth potential because, again, there are some concerns there about, hey, are you overqualified? Just a lot of things that kind of weigh when somebody's over 40. But what you can talk about is the fact that throughout your career in the military, you have done a lot, you've seen a lot, you feel like you bring a lot to the table, and what you're looking for is an opportunity to bring those skills to bear in a meaningful way within an organization. And from what I've looked at in terms of researching the company or perhaps in talking with other people, I feel like this company might be that fit. And I'd like to learn more. Could you tell me a little bit more about the position, and then you kind of go in talking about those subjects. So hopefully that gives you an idea, maybe a couple of different ways to approach this depending on how old you are as you exit the military. That'll wrap it up for this in our Edge Library series, talking with military folks and dealing with that goals question. I'm Randy Wooden. Thanks for watching.